Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome to my channel. If you're new, think about hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and give me a big old thumbs up. It helps my channel grow and it's free to you. Also, this is a collaboration and it's called Winter Wonderland, and I'm going to get back to some more information about that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, this is two Dollar Tree signs. I'm taking, one of them had a little sign hooked, the other one didn't. I popped that off. I took the jute out of the back and I am gluing these together to make one big sign. So I use hot glue, and then I'm taking craft sticks and I'm using wood glue and hot glue to connect these together. Now these were bowed a little bit, so I used two of the large paint stir sticks across the side to hold them more straight. And they still had a tiny bit of a curve, but within a day or so after the glue and everything dried, it completely straightened out. So that's all I'm doing with this. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use the Dollar Tree spackle and I'm going to fill in the crack right there. And my spackle has started to dry a little bit, and I just tried it. I put a little bit of water in it and it worked perfect. So I just filled all that in, sat it aside to dry. Now this tree with the little this truck with the little tree is from Dollar Tree. The other trees are from Woodpecker Crafts. Now I'm going to have a link to my discount code that you can buy stuff in from them on a discount down in the description box. So I am taking two greens, a darker green and a lighter green, and I'm just covering all of the trees except for the trunk in this green. And then I'm taking a lighter green and I'm doing highlights on all three of these trees. Now then I'm going to go back in with Folk Arts Snow White chalk paint, and I'm going to even do more highlights so that this actually looks like actual pine trees. Now you're saying, oh, Christmas. No, this is Winter Wonderland. There's no Christmas about it. It's like the winter after Christmas. So you still have the pine trees in the mountains. They're still covered in snow, and that's what we're going for. So now I'm just putting the white of the highlights on these trees. Once they are done, I'm going to add, grab my antique and wax, and I'm going to paint the stems or the trunks and then use a paper towel and wipe it off so that it doesn't look just like light grain wood. So as you can see, these are looking more and more like an actual tree covered in snow. So once that's done, and here I am doing the antiquing wax. I think I pull it out of camera so you don't actually see me wipe it off. I have to adjust how my camera sits sometimes because it's not showing what I want it to show. But that is what I'm doing, and then I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to grab the Waverly's Crimson chalk paint, and I am painting this truck this red. I'm going to get it completely covered, and then I am going to start with the tires and the highlights and everything. So here I am finishing that truck. Now, I don't put anything in the back of it. I probably should have, and I can always go back and put something in it, but right now I didn't, and I didn't at all. So now I'm doing the white, the inside of the tires, and I am getting them all coated, and then I'm going to do all the highlights like there's snow resting on the high points of this truck. So across the top of the truck, as well as down the sides of the window and all that. Now I'm doing the black, and this is Folk Arts black chalk paint, and I'm doing the outside of the tires, and then I'm going to use that gray, and I had the silver there, and I don't know if I used the silver. I know I used the gray. I had the elephant there, and I think I switched to the Persian gray, and I put the center for the hubcap of the white part of the tire. So once this is done, that is what I'm going to do. Okay, I set those trees aside, and now I am sanding this spackle using my little ladybug vacuum to vacuum it all up. And then I'm going to grab a light blue in, I think it's a folk art. I'll have to look at the colors. I can't remember what colors I used. And I'm covering the top a little bit more than halfway. And when I paint it, you can't even see where the spackle was because I made it pretty smooth. I mean, you could see it through the paint, but you can't see the shadows or anything like that once this project's done. So I'm just doing that. I'm not worried about not full coverage right now because I'm going to take care of that. So now I'm using that Snow White down on the bottom, and you'll see what I'm going to start creating here in just a moment. And the blue is still wet, and I wanted it to still be wet because I'm going to take advantage of the wetness. Once I get all the white across the bottom, you're going to see what I end up doing to use that blue. Now, this is snow, and snow is not pure white. Snow has shadows and darker colors. So I'm making the landscape, and I'm pulling the blue into the white, which is going to give me my shadows of the actual snow. And you can see that starting to form on those peaks like they're mountains a long far away way. So that is what I am doing, and that's why I'm putting the white in when that blue is still wet. Now I'm taking the white on the blue when the blue is still wet, and I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm putting in clouds, and I'm leaving the not so perfectly covered darker to make it look like darker clouds further away, shadows and stuff. And I took advantage of that to make it actually look like an actual sky. I love painting sceneries, and so that is what ended up doing it. Now, I'm putting a little bit of gray in there, and then I'm going to put some gray across the bottom because I wanted it to look like more of a road. And now I went back to that dark green, and I am putting in pine trees in the distance, so they're really small. If you want something to be in the distance, you make them much smaller than what you're going to have in the forefront. That pushes them back and makes them actually look like they are way far in the distance from where you're going to put your other stuff, like I'm putting the painted stuff, and it literally will look like they're miles and miles away once it's done. So I'm just kind of covering a little bit of the background. I don't want it to be thick. I just want it to appear that there are some trees back there, and I'm kind of following the lines of the shadows while I put these trees on these mountains. When you ever look at mountains that have trees, this is what it looks like. If they're pine trees, there's just looks like rows of them, because when they can be 30 feet from each other, but this far away, they look like rows. So I'm just putting those in, putting some smaller ones, putting some shrubbery closer up, just so that it looks like it is in the background. And that's what we want. So once this is done, then I'm going to I'm going to add the trees that we painted and the truck to the forefront. Like I said, down at the bottom, you can't see it. There it is. You can see a little bit of the gray, and that's kind of like the road. So this is how I'm going to set it up, but I wanted that truck to pop off. So I'm putting these tumbling tower blocks using wood glue and hot glue, and I'm sticking 3 of them on the back of this truck so that it stands out a little bit. And I put the wood glue and the hot glue on those tumbling towers, and now I'm just using the wood glue and the tumbling and the hot glue. Actually, I'm just doing hot glue on these trees, and I'm just situating them so that they look like that's where they belong. And now I'm using Mod Podge Sparkle on everywhere there's snow. So the trees, the background, the truck is all getting this. And then I'm going to cover the rest of it with just regular Mod Podge just to protect it. And once that's done, I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to make use some greenery and a bow for the top of this. No words. I thought about writing Winter Wonderland on it, but I decided that it didn't need that this was all it was going to need. This turned out beautiful, and I hope you guys really like the way it ends up. So here I'm cutting my tails, and then I'm going to set them aside, and then I'm going to make this bow. Now I have a bow machine I made, but I just when I'm only doing one bow, I just do it in my hand, unless it's a really complex one. This is fairly easy. I am doing a small loop for the center, and then I am going to be doing, not sure, I think I put 6, maybe 7 loops on each side, and I don't make it huge. I do like 2 this size and 3 or 4 the same size. I don't expand the size too much because the greenery that I'm putting in, I want it to fit nicely in the center, and I didn't spread it really far apart because they're kind of long, and I didn't want it sticking out on either end of that sign because the sign's already large. So I've got 3, 4 so far on each side. I don't know if I stopped at I think I always usually go even numbers. So here is 6. No, that's 5. I can't remember. Maybe I just did 6, but it was getting pretty full, and that's what I wanted, a really pretty full bow. And this ribbon is from Sam's, and it's pure white with silver edging and silver snowflakes, which perfect for a winter wonderland. So I'm counting, that's 2, 4, 6, and I'm gonna go bigger, I guess. Maybe I went 7, I don't know, but yeah, they're all pretty much, oh wait, no, it was just 6 or 7, I can't remember. But I put the tails on there, and I'm just using a piece of jute because all of my I don't have any white or silver Chanel stems right now. I used them all, so I'm just using the jute, and I'm using the hot glue to secure the knot. But then it still wasn't really super tight, so I put some more glue on there, and then I go around to the front. Now the reason I go to the front and use some glue is the center bow or loop, sometimes the end is so short that it starts to slide out if the tie is not tight enough. So I just go in there and I glue it down so that it doesn't slip out, and that's what I'm doing right there. Just kind of putting a dab of glue and just pushing it down to secure it to that ribbon. And then now I'm just going to poof this bow up, and it ends up being a really pretty big bow. And so I take 2 loops at a time and spread them, and that makes a very full bow. And then I'm going to grab the greenery and the sign, and I'm going to put it all together. And I don't know about you, if you like bows. I love bows, and that's one thing I definitely insisted on myself learning many years ago how to make mini bows, and I know how to do tons of different kinds of bows, but this is probably my most favorite. So now I'm going to take those ends and I'm going to cut on a diagonal from the outside to the inside of the ribbon, and that's how you get your dovetail ends. Of course, you can't see them right now, I'm hiding them, but you will be able to see them, and it's just the dovetail. And if I don't know if you've ever seen an actual dove, I used to raise doves, and that's what their tails look like. Okay, so this is a flocked pine picks that I got from Walmart for 98 cents, I think, or no, $1.19, and I think. And so I'm going ahead and using yellow chenille stem on this because you're not gonna be able to see it. It completely gets covered. So I hook those together and kind of glue them a little bit so they don't flop. And then I go ahead and glue along that. And I had to put several things of glue and hold it to get it on there. And then I'm gluing this bow. And once the bow is done, I go ahead and I loop it, and that is the final reveal. And I hope you guys love it. Now, to the information. This is my OG group that I am a part of. The host is Krista from Krista's Crafty Life, and the co-host is Shantell from Crafty Hints. Their channel links will be in the description box as well as the playlist. The other participants is Brenda from Honors Market, Sarah from Kinsera DIY It, Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY, myself, and Janice from Craftastic DIYs. So let's get back to this. Now this is Woodpecker Craft items. Everything but one thing is from them. And I'm using the nautical blue chalk paint from Folk Art, and I'm painting the whole inside of this wooden box. Now these are called chunkies because they're thick. And so I'm just getting that all painted on the inside, and then I'm going to grab my Snow White from Folk Art in the chalk paint, and I'm going to do the outside of this little box, and I'm going to get it all white. Then I'm going to set that aside to paint those 3 chunky trees from Woodpecker Crafts. And like I said before, my link is going to be in the description box for my discount code, so that you can click on it and you can go and you can purchase things with a discount through that link. So just click on it and it'll take you right there. So here it is. I'm getting this all painted. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing to these trees as I did to the others. I'm covering them with the dark green, then I'm going to do the light green, and then I'm going to do the white. I'm doing the edges as well, and I'm also doing the antique wax on the trunks of these trees. Also, I want to remind you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to you, but it helps my channel grow, and I'm looking at getting up to 4,000. I am just over 3,200, and I really want to get to that higher number. The more I get, the more I can bring to YouTube, the more stuff I can do. So here I am just adding those highlights so that it makes it look like an actual pine tree that has snow on top of it. Okay, so I'm just doing a little bit of touch up, and then I am going to I'm figuring out where I'm going to put them, and I'm just using hot glue, and I stuck one in the center, and then I stuck one on the side, and then I realized, I forgot to do what I needed to do on the inside. So I had 4 of these snowflakes from the Dollar Tree that has glitter on them. left. So I stuck them in there, and then I grabbed the sparkle Mod Podge, and I'm covering the whole inside as well as the trees, and then I do that other tree on the outside, and then I connect the other tree, and then I use that on it, and then this project is finished. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and remember that not everybody is in a good place, and they may need some extra attention. And if nothing else, it's just saying, hey, I love you. I'm here for you. So I hope you guys love this one. I totally love this so much. So you guys have a most blessed week. Happy Merry Christmas. Don't forget to call somebody. And you all, please, be the Bible that somebody reads today. Bye.